I'm going to be changing out my air filter today with a high flow air filter from K&N. But are these things and cold air intakes really worth the money? Stick around. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Clint, and today we're going to be talking about air filters and cold air intakes and whether or not they're a good addition, in my opinion, to your Jeep, but more specifically whether they're worth the money, because they're pretty expensive. First thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about how to change the air filter out, because once your Jeep Wave program's over and you're not getting the free oil changes anymore, my recommendation is to do your oil changes and your services yourself. Save a ton of money that way, and that way you know it's done right. Before we start talking about the filters and how they're different, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to change the filter. Let's get started. Okay, right here at the front of your engine bay on the passenger side, this is your air box. Your air filter is located right in here. You've got 5 screws right here. Pull this off and pull your air filter out. Now you can use a flathead screwdriver, you can use a Phillips head screwdriver, or you can use an 8mm socket ratchet if you want to. That's what I'm going to do. And you don't have to take these screws all the way out. Here's your air filter. Once you have your air filter out, chunk it, do whatever you want to with it. Put the new one right back in there. Put the cover down, tighten the screws down, you're done. It's really that simple. Now, let's talk about these filters. Okay, so this filter right here is your standard paper element filter. It's what's going to come in it from the factory. And this is a high flow air filter by K&N. There are several different companies that make these type of filters. I just went with K&N. I've used them before on almost every vehicle I've ever had. I like the filters. Now, you can obviously see there is a size difference between the elements in the two filters. But what makes a high flow air filter a high flow air filter? Well, you can see the main thing is that the material that catches the dirt is more porous in a high flow filter than your standard paper filter, which basically means more air can get through. Well, if the filter element itself, if the holes are bigger in the paper or the element, then that also leaves a better opportunity for dirt and crap that's in the air to get through the filter and into your engine. So the solution to that is to make this a wet filter. That's why they're oiled, because everybody knows that dirt is going to stick to whatever's wet, right? So that's why these are wet, so that they catch the bigger particles that the pores of the element would ordinarily let through. So the main reason most people look at these type of filters is because they have done a great job at marketing these things. Oh, you're going to get 8% more horsepower and 12% better gas mileage. I'm skeptical. On older vehicles, it's a possibility, but on the newer vehicles that are computer controlled, I have my doubts. Now, if you go down and read the fine print, it'll say something to the effect of, you know, we gained 8 horsepower at 5,100 RPMs and 34 pound-feet of torque at 4,800 RPMs. Okay, that's great. But how many of us actually hit those numbers in regular day-to-day driving? I know I don't want my shit going up to 5,100 RPMs. This Pentastar redlines at about 6,700, so 5,000 RPMs ain't someplace I want to be getting just for 8% more horsepower. So then that leads us into the cold air intakes. But my question is, why do they call it a cold air intake? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's going to come with some type of tubing right here to go into your throttle body. and it's going to have an open box. Some of them are sealed, but the air inlet is right there, which is under the hood. You're bringing in warm air from your engine compartment. No matter what you do to this, you're still bringing in the same warm air. It doesn't make any sense to me. Now, one caveat to that is the JLs are a little bit different than all the previous Jeeps. They actually do have 2 air inlets for the airbox. This air inlet right here, which is the main one, but there's also, you can't hardly see it, but right under there, there's another small air inlet that comes out to the front and actually opens up right here, so it does take in a little bit of outside air. If you have a JL, a cold air intake, I think, in my opinion, because all the cold air intake kits I've ever seen, you replace the entire air box, right? The whole air box is gone, so it can contain that cone type filter. You've already got a bit of a cold air intake system built into it from the factory. So in my opinion, why are you going to spend $300, $400, $500 on a cold air intake kit that's probably not going to get you the amount of cold air you're getting from your factory setup? Just something to think about. Then there's the same argument. You're going to get better gas mileage, you're going to get more horsepower and all that crap. Look, on an older vehicle, it's very possible that you could, because you were letting more air in. But on these vehicles, the computer system controls everything. It monitors everything. It makes adjustments on the fly. Your engine is only going to accept so much air. Even if you let more air into it, it only needs so much, right? Because the volume of the combustion chamber is what it is. It's not going to take any more air than what it can take. And that all has to do with the valves and the cams, and your valves are only going to open for a certain amount of time, and that's determined by the cam, and so there's only going to be a certain amount of air go in there. Now, a lot of people that put cold air intakes on, they actually notice their fuel mileage goes down. Well, why would that happen? Well, because the fuel management system in these computers, once it recognizes that you're getting more air, it's going to add more fuel. Why is it going to add more fuel? So that it can make an efficient burn in the combustion chamber. If you have more air than you have fuel, that's going to be a lean burn. If you have more fuel than you have air, that's going to be a rich burn. Neither one of them are efficient. So for $300 or $400 to get a throaty sound coming out of the hood when you mash on the gas, if that's worth it to you, man, have at it. I'm proud for you. Let's go ahead and get this new filter put in here. Actually, this one in the front, you don't even need to take loose. The top doesn't even attach to that. That's just to attach the intake to the air box itself. So that's how easy it is to change your air filter. I highly recommend doing this stuff yourself. You're going to save a lot of money in the long run. Now, I went ahead and put the K&N filter on there. To me, in my opinion, it's worth it. It helps get a little bit cleaner air, but you're not going to get horsepower gains and fuel mileage gains that are going to make you think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's not going to happen. As far as the cold air intakes go, I'm not even going to waste my money on them, because I've got one on my Dodge truck with the Hemi in it. Couldn't tell anything, except I did get worse gas mileage because it friggin' sounds cool, so you get in the gas a little bit more. But other than that, it's a waste of money. I wouldn't mess with it. Take that money and spend it somewhere else on your Jeep. Alright guys, I hope you found this video informative and hope you like what you saw. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Till the next time, keep the shiny side up. Jeep on.